Retired district judge. He's worked with the municipal courts in retirement. He worked for with the Supreme Court Chief Justice Sue Bell Cobb. He's done a wide variety of things, and he knows everybody throughout the state. Some of these people up here and on the next panel have said to me, when he calls, you can't say no. P. Johnson.
Thank you, Ann, and I am delighted to be here in Auburn, Alabama. Judge Pulliam, I knew about Auburn before you were born. I can remember as a 6-year-old when my sister we were taking her back to the dorm. I can remember my brother pulling the fire alarm. And it was pretty eye-opening because they responded however they were. But I have many family members that have gone to Auburn. Only 2 of us, some 50-something has gone to Auburn, and only 2 of us went to the University of Alabama. And I'm proud to say that I work now for the University of Alabama, keeping students in school that have problems with drug cases and alcohol cases. And I wish that Auburn would accept our help and do the same thing. I'm not going to go through an introduction of the people on the panel because you have in your books the resume. I will just briefly thank all of them and those who will be on the second panel, and some will be on the first, and on both panels, Joel and Maria, and I think y'all are the only ones that get stuck on both. And Bennett. Yes, well, Bennett, and I'll start out with this, and I'm going to call on Bennett right first. The subject we're talking about is prison overcrowding, problems and solutions. And I've been in this business since 1974 when I went to work for Earl Morgan. Can y'all hear me in the back?
Speak up, speak up.
Well, all right, I will speak up.
Use your
Wish we
judge's
had sound system, but we don't. The league doesn't have a lot of money. Anybody want to contribute to join the league? Those of you who are not members of the league, it is nonpartisan, and men are invited and welcome to be members of the league. My wife invited me many years ago and paid my dues. But I went to work in the district attorney's office in Birmingham, Alabama in 1974 when I graduated from law school. And I learned just immediately, had thought about it, did an internship with the probation office in Birmingham for a little while when I was in law school. We, and I'm getting that. There were about 5,000 people in prison in Alabama then. In 1980, the Habitual Offender Act went into effect. And there were some 6,000 prisoners in Alabama. One of the things we did about that time is we sold the property at Kilby Prison and tore it down, and somebody somewhere made a lot of money off that property. We built some new prisons. But the Habitual Offender Act has had the effect. The population in Alabama in 1980 was 3,900,000. It's now 4,800,000 to 900,000. It's gone up 24%. The population of our prisons, Colonel Dunn, has gone up 450%. I don't think the people of Alabama are that much worse now. Don't think I'm too liberal, because there are a lot of people that should be locked up and never released. There are some people who should be executed because of the heinousness and the evilness of their murder. And I've known, other than Colonel Dunn, I've known all these folks, and I guess I have known you, Miriam, longer than anyone. I had the, and I'll tell you now, I appreciate you being here, and I wish I had never met you. And that's really not funny. Y'all don't understand. I was one of the prosecutors of the men who murdered Miriam Sheehan's daughter, Gwinnett Sheehan, in 1976. She has done more than anyone in this room or anyone in this state to help victims of crime. She has been the leader and the founder of LWVAL, which has brought a lot of rights to victims that should have been there before. And she is here to speak for the victims. But I'm going to skip over, before I call on you, Miriam, I'm going to skip over to Bennett Wright and ask Bennett. He is the executive director of the Alabama Sentencing Commission that I had the honor of serving. Were you working with us when I was still there?
No, sir.
I resigned from the Sentencing Commission in 2004, 2005 because I thought they were not going in the right direction. And I have mixed feelings about that now. I think they've come a long way, and they came a long way when we got Bennett. He's experienced working with the court system, the United States government in Washington. He has worked, but he has been the executive director. He started out working as one of our technical folks, telling us where we were, and has been retained and hired as the executive director of the Sentencing Commission, and they are one of the hopes of getting us out of this mess. But I want him, and I'm going to ask the panel to talk briefly, 5 or 6 minutes, about how we got here, and then we're going to talk and respond to questions. And there will be, if you have questions, if the card's been passed out,
Yes.
you've got cards on your table, and if you've got a question, just raise the card and they'll be picked up, and we'll go to your questions, and I may have some questions also. But Bennett, can you briefly?
Sure. Thank you, Judge. I'm being mindful